Hello friends, before we start the video, a little hello. Guess what? I kind of messed up. I knew I would, considering I was looking at 20 different cars. You'll notice the comparisons between Japan Historics 1, 2, 3, and 4. I tried to do 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, so on and so forth. Realize that I mixed up Japan Historics 1, the Skyline and the Datsun 510. It'll make sense once you start watching the video. You want to point it out, go for it. I noticed it. We'll just run with it. Skyline versus the other number ones, which is the number 2. Datsun 510, which is the number 1 versus the other number 2s. It still kind of plays out the same. Kind of a fun video to do. Hopefully you enjoy it. Tell me what your rankings were in the comments below. But I just wanted to let you know I saw it, and it's really hard to kind of change it all around after it's all said and done. Enjoy the vid. Hello, everybody. This is a Lamley showcase. Should be a good one because I've got all of the Hot Wheels Car Culture Japan Historics. Not only the new mix, Japan Historics 4, but I also have 3, 2, and just out of the shot, 1. And we're going to do a compare and contrast and figure out what mix is the best that they've done so far. Japan Historics really is the foundation of car culture. Car culture debuted in 2016, I believe it was. And the very first mix of car culture was Japan Historics, and then it came, and then it returned to, over here 2 years later, and then I think 2 years after that, and now we have the fourth mix of Japan Historics. It's pure JDM, a lot of historic cars, not just what would be considered very popular JDM, but some classics in this mix, or in all 4 mixes, which is kind of cool. And they've really changed the theme over time. Modified it a little bit, and we're just going to go ahead and dig into that. We'll do a little compare and contrast. I am in a different location. I'm doing the empty nesting parent thing. This is actually going to be my new studio. This will convert over the coming months. It'll be a slow process, but this is my daughter's bedroom. She's now off to college. She knows this is going to happen, but it's too hot outside, so I'm just utilizing the space. It'll change over time. You guys don't care. Let's just get to it. This is Japan Historics 4 new mix coming to stores very soon. Mattel sent this to me, and I thought, why not do this compare and contrast? Seems like a good thing to do. Maybe we'll do it with other mixes like Race Day and Modern Classics, things that are coming out that have been released in the past as themes. We'll just walk through it. We'll just get started. 1 through 5. What we're basically going to do, it's going to be very unscientific. I'm going to take the number 1 from this set, compare it to the number 1 of the other 3 sets, and we'll rank them, and then we'll come out and see which one finished the highest over, and we'll determine. And you guys can obviously leave comments down on models and the sets that you think are the best. Let's go. All right, here it is. Japan Historics 4. A lot of things I'll show you. Here is the logo here, Japan Historics. You can see it's also done in Japanese. That is something that they've really leaned into with this set, with this particular mix, Japan Historics 4. Artwork is amazing. They've gone back to the cherry blossoms. You obviously see some elements of like the Japan flag, the Japanese flag, and Japanese architecture. Really beautiful art here for sure, managed by Julian Coils. Here is the back. Logo, names of the cars, because you're going to want those. There is that for when it comes out. Let's talk about the names of the cars. Look what they did. I think we've talked about this. They have put the names of the cars in Japanese on the front, which is very, very cool to do. And if you don't know what the car is, you can always turn around and see what it is. This is number 1. It is, there's the art. If you want to see on the back, it is the 64 Prince Skyline GT. We'll go ahead and put it on the turntable so you can see it. What's really cool, this is new casting. And Prince Skyline, right? Prince came before Nissan. Basically, Prince became Nissan later on. There's a whole history there. I don't know enough to get into it, but I've read the history of Prince to Nissan before. It's kind of interesting. This is kind of the original Skyline race car. I don't know if racing aficionados would add Godzilla, the Godzilla moniker, to this Skyline, but this one really started the Japanese racing scene. This car actually held its own against a Porsche in a Japanese circuit race back in, it would have had to have been in the 60s. And just the fact that this was, the early days of Japanese vehicles, and just the fact that this car held its own against a Porsche and actually had the lead for a little bit in the race, really kind of spearheaded that interest and kind of led to the super silhouettes and all the other cool GT racing, all the stuff that we've seen later on in pure Japanese and JDM race cars. This is the Godfather. This is the grandfather. This is the leader. And it's in this livery, the number 39 in blue. So this is a definitely historic car, and really a cool, obviously a new casting and a very cool addition. And I just think it's a cool, like, I love when the cars like this introduce you to maybe elements of car racing history. And there's enough for me to learn. Obviously, I'm always learning. That's the story of this one. Really, really cool. There's the Chase as well. We actually previewed this one. I'm not going to open the Chase just yet because, well, I have it on a turntable shot from the sneak peek, so I'll do that so you can see it. Obviously, they took off the racing decals and just made it a black version of the Prince Skyline, of the 64 Prince Skyline, which is super, super cool. They've been doing that. They did that with the Corolla too, right? They moved all the racing livery and just made it a plain black car. And yeah, new casting, nice chase. I'm doing something with the chases and I want to keep this carded, so that's what I'm going to do. So now what we get to do is rank them. So this is the first one from Japan Historics 4. I'll show you Japan Historics 1. We'll go through these fairly quickly. The Japan Historics 1, just as an introduction, obviously came on the smaller card. I think it was the first 2 years of car culture was actually done on a standard card. These were considered kind of mid-premium, so some of the detailing that you would see on car culture now, like the headlights, taillights, and things, weren't necessarily done here. So it was more side deco. There were some that had a little more deco, but you'll see that these weren't totally complete. This is the Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR done in a police livery. Art on these, and we'll factor this as we rank these. That's why I'm keeping these carded for this video. Love the art on this one. Just the rendering of the car, plus Mount Fuji in the background. I think all of these have a similar artwork with, of course, the cherry blossoms on that as well. This is a very nice one. That's number 1. We'll see where that ranks. I'm putting it off. You can kind of see here. Number 1 from Japan Historics 2. It is the Datsun Bluebird 510, a classic, a popular casting. Hype Central, right? Also great art. You see the cherry blossoms moving into this one, but this is more of an action shot. We don't have to talk about the art on all of these, but you'll definitely see them as you rank them, and I'll rank them these myself. I love the kind of ghost BRE deco they did with this one. Japan Historics 2 had all very clean versions of each release. This one had the most deco. All of them had Gretty and Japanese Nostalgic Car JNC deco somewhere. This one was done as like a ghost racing livery, BRE inspired. That one's very cool. And then, of course, number 1 from Japan Historics 3 is this beauty, the Nissan Skyline RS, the KDR 30, another classic that was a surprise. This was a Ryo Asada design for basic, then it was converted to premium. This car, actually, with the Watanabe rims, is kind of roughly based on Jay Ko's car. He's from Vegas. And but it's a standard version. Art is cool here too. I think there's some elements of the cherry blossoms, but more of kind of a city background on these in the JH3. All right, so we got to rank them. This Skyline Police, it's nice. Art is great, but it's going to be in 4th. I really do like this one a lot, the BRE Ghost Deco. But for me, it really comes down to an iconic Skyline, it's kind of held its own of late, past the Hakoskas and the Ken Marys and before the R34s and R33s and R32s. It's starting to become appreciated, and I really like this clean factory version, essentially. But this one takes the cake. The racing, sorry, Jay. The racing, the legend, the godfather of Japanese race cars, the Prince Skyline, it has to be number 1. So that's how I rank these. It's off to the side here. I'm going to push these back a little bit so that we can move on to number 2. You can see this is going to be a long video, but I think it should be pretty fun. All right, here we go. Let's put this on the turntable here in a second. This is the 72. If you can read the writing, you want to see it on the back, I'll show it to you. It is the 72 Toyota Corolla 11. Brand new casting designed by Phil Reelman. For this set, nice small rims. We'll put it on the turntable, full details. Really cool to see more Corollas done. This generation is a nice generation to be done. I don't know if we've seen anything similar from Hot Wheels. We've seen other Corollas, of course, but I don't know if we've seen anything from this era. And it's really, really clean. I love the front look of this one. Obviously, in just plain orange, it looks really nice. I don't know what else to say about this one. Obviously, I think we'll see it in a lot of cool colors, even some cool liveries. And the fact that it has the small rims, they've been doing that right since Japan Historics 2. More on that in a second. I think this one is really cool. So we're going to put this one right here as we start figuring out Japan Historics 2. I'm going to move these a little bit off to the side now because we've got some stacking to do. All right. Let's put this one right here. Let's talk about number 2 from Japan Historics 1. Japan Historics 1, I'm going to say it. The art is fantastic. There's the back. I didn't show that. The models are going to have to really bring it in order to beat some of these others, I think. But this one is nice. It is an iconic casting, the Datsun wagon. It is in an Advan livery. I think I would have preferred to see it in a standard Advan where it's red in the back and then the stripes and then black in the front. That would have been cool. But the 4 spokes, I think, were introduced in this casting or in this mix, and obviously being on the Datsun wagon was a big deal. And they're really cool looking 4 spokes with the red trim on it. It's a very nice model. I'm going to put it behind the Levin for now. We'll see what else goes. We'll go to number 2. Number 2 of 5 from Japan Historics 2. Look at the art on that one. Cherry Blossoms, it is the Mazda RX-3 in orange, not to be confused. Man, look at that. They do look very similar, right? But 2 different brands. I wonder, too, if you would have... This was the new model in Japan Historics 1. We'll get to that later. If they would have redone this one, you might have seen smaller rims on this one. And obviously, we're going to see this a couple more times, right? And but this is the Mazda RX-3. In factory orange, looks really good, but it's going to get beat by the Levin as well. So I think we're going to be seeing a very similar ranking here. Let's look at Japan Historics 3. 85 Honda City Turbo 2. This is definitely a pure Japanese car, and the art is so cool on this one. But it did have a bit of a peg warmer vibe to it, which is unfortunate because it's a cool car, but I think this one would have done better. And this is actually a real livery for this car. If you look up the Honda City Turbo, you'll see this orange version with the Turbo 2R deco on it. And it's really nice, but just it is a bit underappreciated. I like the pureness of it. I think it would have been better in the, more appreciated in this one they did stock, which is that, was it red, blue, and white version of the Honda City in premium, even though they did it in basic, but they've done that before. Still nice, but I think, here's how I'm going to do it. This one wins again, to be honest. And I don't think it's just because it's new. It's just a great casting. Looks perfect. I had a lot of orange in this stack. I'm going to put... I actually think I am going to put the Datsun 510 next. Then I'm going to put the RX-3. I'll put the RX-3 third or fourth. I'm actually going to put the Honda because it's underappreciated, but it is not appreciated as much. So I'm going to put that one as our third. We could even assign points to these if we want to, but let's just keep going. Let's go to number 3. Here it is. There it is in Japanese. Here it is on the back. It is the Nissan Fairlady Z. Slightly modified, right? The Fairlady Z. Casting this one done. Now, I mentioned this when I did the sneak peeks. This does have a little bit of a vibe, right? What was it? The Devil Z, I think is what it was called from, you can look it up. And I think it's unofficial. There's no licensing there, but from an anime, a Japanese anime, the Devil Z, I think that's, I just wonder if there's a bit of a wink wink here, especially if you were to put a black Porsche next to it. There's a whole story behind those. That's since we're just doing the rankings here, we'll just keep it at that. But this is a really nice, clean version in dark blue. Absolutely love the wheels. Love the fact that it's super clean. I'm trying to see if there's any... I mean, it just says Z on it, right? Fairlady. There's no other branding on this, which is really nice, I think. So we're going to put this one here. It's a nice model. I'm really digging this mix. Let's go to Japan Historics 3, number 1. Okay, I'm actually going to put this one ahead of it, though. As much as I like that Z, this number 1 is great. One disadvantage that this had, and it would be a mark against it. Look how great the art is, but it didn't get that deco because it was that medium premium on the front or the back, which is a bummer. That's why Hot Wheels made it more expensive and upgraded, after 2 years. But it's still an iconic racing skyline. Not official. There's some things like June's name is on this and Japanese nostalgia car. It's not specifically based on a racing livery, but it's inspired by. I still think it's a really cool, in terms of like Japanese race cars. I think that one finishes ahead. But let's keep going, because here's Japan Historics 2, and oh, look what's here. Same casting. It is the Nissan Fairlady Z, also clean in yellow. This one gets the 4 spokes. Gretty deco, JNC deco, but other than that, it's super clean. This one's better detailed, so you have to kind of, I mean, the art's great on both. I think I would take this art first, but really nice how they're both so different. But I think just in terms of execution, this one takes it. So that one finishes ahead. We still have the Japan Historics 1 at the number 1 spot, but let's see what Japan Historics 3 brought to the table. And there, you talk underappreciated. Japan Historics 3 is totally underappreciated. It's not as exciting as some, I get it. But this is the Nissan Silvia, the CSP 311. This is the first generation Silvia. And this color is as pure as it gets. The wheels, the white wall tires, this is a classic. Now, if they could have done the exact wheels on the Silvia, but they don't have it. So they did the closest they could, the more concave wheels. But I have seen this car in person. I saw it at JDM Legends here in Salt Lake City. And it's a work of art. It's just something so beautiful, so different. And like the Prince Skyline, just pure Japanese car history. And based on that, this is my opinion. You might rank it differently. I would love for you to leave your comments down below. But this one finishes number 1. So there's a first time we've done a non-Japanese, or JH4. This is JH3 takes the top for the number 3. All right. Should we keep going? Let's go to number 4. All right, let's do number 4. Sorry. Just doing some house cleaning. 73 Honda. Look at it over here. Civic Custom. This one was a basic. It gets converted to premium. This is its first issue in premium. Nice to see it here. I think we've had it maybe 2 years. It was really clean the first year, and now we've seen it. Maybe it had a little stripe on top. And now we get to see it here. It's really nice. I'm racing this year, right? But this one is a nice, clean factory version in red. Love that it's just nice and clean. Racing decals are cool in this one, but this is how I think of Honda Civics, and this is how I think of the early Honda Civics. And I just love the lowered stance, the small wheels. Once again, you get the small wheels, which is a super great advantage for these later Japanese releases that they've done. Ken Mary, like the Liberty Walk Ken Mary, has the smaller wheels, which makes it so much better than the first Ken Mary, but that's just what they had to work with, right? But now that they have these small rims, it really looks good on these cars. Love, love, love this Honda. It's one of my favorites of the set for sure. So we're going to put it in the number 1 spot for now, but let's see what it's going up against. Number 4 of 5 from Japan Historics 1. By the way, I'll show you. These actually have stickers on them. This blister, I don't know if this is a story I can tell, but there was a time Hot Wheels was working with a new blister, I think at the demand of Walmart. And they went through a lot of iterations of the blister. And this one was, quality. I think there was just some cost issues with the blisters. And I think there was something about, biodegradability and some other things. Anyway, they were working with this blister, but it was having a hard time sticking. So these actually got issued. There were some that didn't get them, but these got issued with stickers on them. So you can actually see it on the back too. See that? This little round sticker. Anyway, that's why this happened. That's why there's stickers on some of these if you're looking for these cars. This is the Toyota 2000 GT, another classic, iconic race car. I would put it up. I wouldn't say it's as iconic as, say, like the Racing Skyline and of course the Prince, but yeah, this one is an homage to that racing livery. It's really nice. Didn't get the full deco. That's a disadvantage on this one. And then we saw another racing deco done in the Toyota set a few years later, right? I'm going to put that one behind there for now because I just love the Honda. But let's look at okay. Japan Historics 2 might take the cake on this one. These were the big surprises. When Japan Historics 2 came out, we got a Datsun 510. We got the RX-3 back. we got a Nissan Z, which was totally fine. But this was the big surprise. There were two surprises. And the Nissan Laurel, known as the Pig Butt Laurel, was a big surprise to see Hot Wheels do this. It was Junimai design. There's a reason the art is like this, with the rear of this car being shown, because it's famous for its rear. Like I said, it's called the Pig Butt. The color, the chrome 4 spokes, the fact that these wheels were done small, which is something I think June really wanted to do when he was at Hot Wheels at the time, and he got this on the Laurel and a couple others. You saw it on the Nissan Skyline wagon and some of the others. But this one with this color, the Greddy, the JNC logo, it's super clean. It's an absolutely beautiful casting. And as much as I like the Honda, this one goes to number 1. And then the last one, number 4 of 5 in Japan Historics 3. It's nice. It is the 75 Datsun Sunny truck new casting. The B120 was a new casting for JH3. I think the Sylvia was technically a new casting in Fast and Furious. I think technically, but the way it was came out, it looked like there were 3 new models in JH3: the Sylvia, this one, and then the next one. The Sunny truck is really cool. We've seen it in a couple of different liveries. This one, nice, clean yellow. You got the detailing in the back. I think it's an art kit that Mark Jones designed because he was like doing the art. He just put it in the back like he was taking his art kits out to do some painting. It's a really, really nice casting. But let's see, what are we looking at? Toyota's great, but it's an iconic race car. I'm gonna put it in the 4th position. Honda, Sunny. I think I'm going Sunny next, in the 3rd position. Honda gets number 2, and then Japan Historics 2 gets its first number 1 with the Laurel. All right, let's push these over. And let's do the last bit, number 5. Number 5 of 5 is, you see the RX-3. It is the Mazda. Oh, there it is. It is the Mazda RX-3. 3rd time we've seen it. Japan Historics. Well, no, let's see. It's in this set, but we got to get to the other one. There was the Japan Historics in yellow, in orange, the Japan Historics 2, right? And then this one, and then we'll get to the other one right here, the first release of this casting. So here it is. What they've done is they've taken the casting and they've converted it. I mean, it's the same casting as the RX-3 that came in Japan Historics 1. So we have actually seen this RX-3 in this Liberty Walk deco. So it's the same design, but it really does fit the Liberty Walk trim. I don't know if that was an inspiration for the original casting, but they've really emphasized the modifications on the RX-3 from the original casting. It's a very, very nice model. I like the Liberty Walk deco on this one. It obviously is going to be popular because it is a Liberty Walk. But to be honest, of all 4 of these Japanese, of the JH4, this is my least favorite of them. And I say that liking it as well, but we'll put it here and I just have a good sense it's going to get beat. All right. There's Japan Historics 1. It's the exact same casting. This was the debut. I still think, like, if they were to do this now, you might have seen smaller rims on it, but it does look cool with the chrome 4 spokes. And then, the purple color was really rich on this one. It's a very, very nice model, but I'll put the Liberty Walk in front of that one for sure. Japan Historics 2. Oh, this is an all-timer for me. And if I'm being honest, this might be my favorite Japan Historics release ever. It is the Nissan Skyline C210. Small rims are back like they were on the Laurel. Chrome 4 spokes. Beautiful purple color with the chrome trim. Nice and clean. And I'll also show you this detail that I don't know exactly why they did it, but they gave it a chrome steering wheel with the regular interior. And I just think it's just so rad. Artwork is cool on this one. The model is fantastic. We've seen other releases of this one, but nothing comes close. It's a nice, nice casting. We've seen it in Boulevard. It's been a mail-in. I mean, there's some others I know. I think maybe it's been Boulevard twice. Really nice, but nothing comes close to this one. And I still think, I'd have to figure out what my favorite castings are, but this one definitely goes to the front. And can it be beat by the Japan Historics 3? I don't know. 68 Mazda Cosmo Sport. It's another one that hasn't been fully appreciated. It's an historic car, an iconic car, kind of considered along with the Toyota 2000 GT as the very first Japanese supercars. the Mazda Cosmo Sport. It's a tiny car, beautiful silhouette, very interesting, different, but not appreciated as a Hot Wheels car. It's been moved, you know, it's gone to basic. It was a super treasure hunt, but still nothing that's been real popular. But this version, with the bumper deletes and the chrome steelies, it's a very, very nice model. But I just not appreciate it. I'm putting the RX3 number 1 as the 4th model. I'm putting the Japan Historics 4 number RX3 as our 3rd. Cosmo's great, so I'm putting that in the 2nd position, and then the Skyline C210. All right, so what wins? Well, we have 2 Japan Historics 2, 1 Japan Historics 3, and 2 Japan Historics 4. So we have to do some other math. If this gets 4 points, so 4, 8, 2, 10, 13, 2, 15. So Japan Historics 4 gets 15 points. Japan Historics 3 gets 3, 2, that's 5, plus 4, that's 9, plus 2, that's 11, and 3, that's 14. So it's Japan Historics 4, 15, Japan Historics 3, 13, Japan Historics 2, 2, 1, that's 3, 1, that's 4, 8, 12. So Japan Historics 3 is in 3rd place despite having 2 first place winners. And then that means Japan Historics 1 is 1, 3, that's 4, 3, that's 7, 1, that's 8, and 1, that's 9. So how do we rank them? Japan Historics 4, then Japan Historics 3, then Japan Historics 2, and Japan Historics 1. So it's just gotten better and better as we go. That's my ranking. I want to know yours. Which set do you like the best? You could do it by points. You can rank them by release. Obviously, if I were just put all the models together, it might come out a little bit different, but I think that's pretty consistent with how I think. I really think 4 is the best one with this iconic racing car, the factory Honda. It's just the Liberty Walk. It's just kind of a nice variety. Of course, the Toyota. I think it does win. So you guys tell me what you think. Please, I want to hear all of your opinions. If I had to pick one that I think is the best, I'm really looking at this one. I'm really looking at this one. I'm really looking at this one. And I'm really looking at this one. But if I had to pick one, it probably is going to be that. I really do think it is. This one I might do second. I have no idea, but that's a different video for a different time. You guys tell me what you think. Thank you, everybody. Hopefully this is a fun video to watch. Bye.